Toronto notes, the most dreaded topic for all of us who are preparing for QE1, right? I'm getting a lot of questions from my students these days. Should we read Toronto notes or not? Is it absolutely necessary or not? So let's dive deep into this topic of Toronto notes and see if it is required to clear QE1 or not. Hi everyone, I'm Dilshad and I present to you a new video where we'll discuss what kind of devil is this Toronto notes. So I want you all to understand what Toronto Notes basically is. Now, this is an exact screenshot that is appearing on my screen that says Toronto Notes is a comprehensive medical reference and a review for MCCQE. Right? I took this screenshot from my PDF, and what basically Toronto Notes is, it's like a compilation of all the medical notes by Canadian physicians and surgeons, and they've made it in the form of a book and presented to you with a whole lot of text, right? So that is Toronto Notes. Now, everybody tells you to read Toronto Notes. There's a lot of information on social media, on the internet. The questions that all of you face is that should we read Toronto Notes for QE1? It's very confusing. Do I have to finish the whole book? Is it absolutely necessary to read Toronto Notes? So let's dive deep about what kind or what methodology should you follow to read Toronto Notes. So the first question I'll answer is that do you absolutely have to read Toronto notes? Is it like a make or a break thing for you to clear your exams? The answer is a complete no. It's not a make or break for your exams, but there's a caveat. Should you read QE1 and some topics for NACOSKI? Absolutely yes. I recommend reading Toronto notes, but not cover to cover. Yes, you heard me right. I recommend reading Toronto notes, but not cover to cover. So this is what I did, and this is what I am guiding you all, and this is what I mentor my students for. I advise reading Toronto notes, but only selectively and only high yield topics. Now, I want you all to understand that this book has been written by Canadian physicians. It's like a gold mine for us to understand about Canadian healthcare. Now, I am an international medical graduate from India. I do not recall going through Indian ethics in my MBBS curriculum. No, I did not. But in North America, especially in Canada and US, there is a lot of emphasis on ethics. Toronto Notes beautifully covers very high yield topics and super important topics that are regularly tested on QE1. So I need to tell you that this is the reason why I recommend reading Toronto Notes. But there are certain problems with this. Every great thing comes with a set of problems, right? I used to feel that Toronto Notes is very much like a newspaper. It's very black and white. So what I did was I actually downloaded a PDF of Toronto Notes. I gave my exams in 2021 and I think I was reading 2020 edition or 2021 edition, I think so. But it was very black and white. It was a very boring text for me. I'm a very visual person and I read with the help of diagrams and colored text. This book was very boring for me. But I realized something very soon in the earlier stages of my life, in earlier stages of my life preparing for these exams. And those were that this exam is very selective and it focuses on high yield topics. So that is why I advise you to go through Toronto notes selectively and cover these high yield topics. You guys are all the more welcome to take a screenshot of these super high yield topics for QE1, and some of them are very high yield for NACOSKI also. So these are listed below in red, which I do not want you guys to miss if you are aiming for a high score in QE1. These topics being ethics and legal medicine, OB-GYN, pediatrics, psychiatry, family medicine, public and preventive health, geriatrics, and emergency medicine. So I want you to understand that there is a particular way in which QE1 questions are framed. And those are the things that will help, the topics from Toronto Notes are something that will help you get an idea about how the question is framed and how you have to answer. Even in NACOSKI, if you're given like a certain scenario and you are wanting to attempt it, Toronto Notes can help you in that. So I always advise my students to read certain areas of Toronto Notes if they are going to appear for NACOSKI also. So most of these topics are not covered by other books or Q banks. Now I have told you all, I did my preparation from UWorld, Step 2 CK. I bought that question bank and I prepared for both UWorld Step 2 CK and QE1 from that question bank. Now it was a question bank that was designed for physicians who are taking the test for United States, not for Canada. So that's the reason I wanted something that was an authentic resource by Canadian physicians and surgeons. And that is where Toronto Notes helped me a lot. It was very authentic and had high yield topics for QE1 and NACOSCI. Especially for NACOSCI, I recommend going through certain topics like family medicine and geriatrics, which are very high yield. So I'll give you an example. On the screen, there is the screenshot from the PDF of Toronto Notes I have. This is a screenshot from ethics chapter. Now it tells you how to give a bad news to a patient. And there's a certain mannerism that is required in NACOSCI. Also, if you notice, there is a column on the right that is there is a lot of information in the form of boxes. Now, this is helpful because it may tell you certain provinces, what are their policies. It can tell you some kind of mnemonics that are here, some things that you should not miss. So I recommend if you are reading Toronto Notes selectively, you should go through these boxes pretty much so that you revise them over and over again and it becomes a muscle memory for you all. Now, this is an important topic. There are questions about child abuse, neglect, and cases like that. So I took this screenshot from emergency medicine, and you can see that there is like certain things that they have given pointers towards that are presentations of neglect. They can tell you some interventions that are there. So these kind of things are important. These kind of things are important in QE1. They are also important in NACOSCI as well. So they can ask you like what investigations will you order in child abuse. So obviously you have to order, like you have to take history. Then there's a shaken baby syndrome, so you'll order a CT, MRI to see like if the child has any subdural hemorrhages or any retinal hemorrhages after ophthalmology consult, and CT head. So those kind of things are important, and these things are not I'd say they are given, but they are not very well highlighted in Q banks or other books. So that is why I'm emphasizing in particular, if you are appearing for QE1, please make sure to cover those high yield topics from Toronto Notes. I hope this short video helps you all. Uh, Please like, share, and subscribe. It gives a lot of motivation to me to make videos like this. And also, please let me know if there are any other topics that you would want me to make videos on. I am planning to make videos on motivation for exams, how to make a schedule. I'm thinking of making like a question answer kind of a format video for ethic topics and scenarios and family medicine topics and questions which are relevant for QE1. If there is anything you guys want me to present, please let me know and I'll prepare a video for that. Have a good day and happy preparation. Bye and take care.